Welcome to this week's Travelin' Young. A little delayed because we have been
We're really
kind of
tired.
busy. Tired. I got it.
Tired,
These dark
busy.
days and rainy days. I mean, even Brisket's tired. Brisket's tired.
I was studying for a certification exam, so I'm kind of brain dead.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of
It's
hard
January
to get
and
motivated.
raining and dark every day.
So it's a little hard to get motivated.
So we're here
Sorry.
now. We're here now.
We're doing it.
And
Go
this
team.
week, we're going to talk about a love-hate relationship
Yes.
with Denmark. 5 things
God.
we love
And 5 things we hate.
about Denmark. On this, I'm not going to save the day of the week. This
Episode.
is
This
no.
episode
This is days
Was it your-
Travelin' Young. I say we start positively
Yes.
with the 5, and then
Good stuff.
you have to wait around for the
For the
interesting
stuff we hate.
hate things. So I'm going to let you start with number 5 of the things we love.
We do, and coming in at number 5 is Danish summers. We really love this. I love the fact that it's not too hot and it's not too cold, and they're generally beautiful. I
And
love
the
them.
days are so long.
The days are so long.
And we're on the upswing now. Days are getting longer. Just minutes each day. We're getting more. We just need the dark skies to go away so you can
Yeah.
actually see that extra sunlight that we
Yeah.
get every day.
But I think we're learning to appreciate how everybody comes out in the summertime, and it's like something fun to look forward to.
Yes, we're eager to get to this summer.
Yes. So tell us number 4.
Number 4.
Is your
pastries.
favorite thing?
Hindbærsnitter. Oh, hindbærsnitter. I love you, hindbærsnitter. And now it's Fastelavn season is coming, so oh my goodness.
Yeah.
There's
All kinds of pastries.
There's pastries and desserts for every season, and I love that part of Denmark.
It's true. There are kind of
Yeah,
there is
there's
kind
a
of a
bunch of
pastry and
stuff.
dessert for every season.
Yeah,
That's right.
and I Fastelavn boda.
They're quite good.
I maybe have had one or two. Maybe.
What?
Number 3 for
Number
you.
3, this is totally mine, and I'm gonna sound like a dork. I love the recycling centers. They're my favorite place to go, and I love kind of getting the clutter out, and I feel like we collect a lot of cardboard boxes all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
But this is interesting. This is not something that was common back home. Like being able to just like go to those places and drop. I mean,
it off.
and it's
It's
so
so
neat that it's
great.
like. I mean, you know what this is, but
Yeah.
for those that don't know that are watching, you like drive into this thing and there's like all these dumpsters that you kind of go in this like
Whatever you
semicircle,
have.
and it's like from glass stuff to plastic
You
stuff to
can drop
garden
off
stuff
old
to
toilet,
cardboard stuff.
Yeah, old toilets.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many old toilets we've dropped off. Like, yeah, that one's been used.
No, I mostly visit the cardboard drop off, but there's also like the donation place, so it's super easy if we just collect up all our cardboard and our
Yeah.
paper and.
I mean, when
have a
we
few things to give
moved, the
away.
last time we moved, I
Oh
felt
my
like
God, so
our
much
cleaning, we
stuff.
were there so often, kind
Often.
of taking
Yeah.
stuff to this like
I
recycling
love
center,
that.
and they're all over, and it doesn't cost anything.
Nope.
I remember when we moved from the U.S. to here, we disposed of some like electronics and things, old VCRs and things we weren't using anymore, and we had to pay to drop that
Yeah.
stuff off
No,
places. This was like, we're like, wait, what? This is what?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Not here. Thank you very much, Denmark.
Yes, number 2. I love the fact. I like to refer to this as basically learning about new culture and history. Now, this would be applicable to any place, but what's interesting about Denmark is we didn't learn much about Denmark growing
We
up.
didn't.
And so it's like just this whole pot of new things to learn about history.
Yeah, everything is new to us.
And for that brief period of Danish history where there was a U.S. history, it's interesting to see the parallels. Like, what's going on? The 1864 battle here going on the same time as the American Civil War. That's interesting to think about what's going on and the things we did learn.
Yeah.
And the things I never learned that are here. And I just love the fact that there's all these people and all these...
Like World War II, like you experienced World War II in a completely different way than Americans did and have a totally different perspective on it. So it's just so interesting to learn all that stuff.
Yeah. So number 1, my phone where I have these listed just went to sleep. Let's wake this bad boy up. Number 1.
Number 1 is I think everybody's favorite. Christmas. You guys.
Wait. I wrote
Mega Christmas.
Mega Christmas.
Mega Christmas. The Danes, I tell you what, you guys are nuts for Christmas, and I love you for it. It is really one of my favorite holidays. Back in the U.S., Halloween was my favorite holiday, but now, it's Christmas. I just love it. I love how long it's celebrated. It's just so much fun. I look forward to it absolutely every year.
Despite how long it's celebrated, the trees are only up for a very brief amount of time, but they get a tremendous amount of attention when danced around. So there's that. By the way, honorable mention would be beer. I didn't add that to the list, but Danish beer.
There is so much good beer. I just have to sniff it these days, but
there's a bunch of Snubble juice.
So much good beer. There is a lot of Snubble juice
that we bought that's down in a box. All right, now we're going to talk about our 5 least favorite things. Hate's a strong word, but we'll go with it. The things we dislike and hate the most about Denmark. Number 5.
This is mine because I do the yard work in the family, and that's just because I like to do yard work for some reason. It's hedges. Like, we don't have hedges in the U.S., really. We have fences. So the fact that pretty much everybody has hedges for privacy, and it is so much work to trim them and make sure they're not blocking anything, and then haul the stuff away and make sure you don't forget what day the garden stuff gets picked up. So even Brisket doesn't like them. He's making gross noises.
And it's enforced. Like, the whole hedge rules are in the city ordinance about hedges. Like, no, you can't have a fence. It has to be a hedge.
It has to be a hedge.
We need a hedge so big that you can't tell if there's a human on the other side, but not a fence. We're used to fences. Basically, in the U.S., when you want privacy, you typically build some kind of fence, not have hedges. So I was
very maintenance free,
blown away by how many hedges were here when we first got here. That's how you can tell a Danish home from a non-Danish home, is the hedges. Number 4, I have done an entire video about this. But it's important, so it's got to make the list. If you didn't guess, it would be parking tickets.
Oh, yeah.
And this is
the golden ticket.
I went through this a lot, so knock it. But I'm just going to say this one general thing about parking tickets. By the way, of the comments on that video, 99% of the people are on my side. 1% of the people work for Easy Park, I guess, or APCOA or something. But the problem is, to me, it's very contrary to this general trusting society here to bake in a system where if you make a minor mistake, it could end up costing you 700 krona. That is not trusting, and that's why
exorbitant.
That's why it bothers me so much. Is so many things are built on trust here. And that, to me, violates the concept of
I think
trust.
it'd be like one thing if it was like 120 krona or something, but it's like 700.
Well, people argue and say that if it's 120, then people just get the ticket and park in the wrong place. But anyway, we could do what I've done. I can do a series of videos on my feelings on this and invite guests in because everybody has an opinion on this one. But number 3, I'm going to give to you, which I agree.
He agrees, but it's more my thing because I'll be honest, I eat fish in very, very few contexts. Like, I like sushi, and I will eat basically like plain roasted trout or some kind of white fish with like lemon in it, but that's it, very plain. I cannot tell you the number of times I have been traumatized by going down to the canteen at lunch, and it's like salmon in a cream sauce, or
that's
like
not that bad, but yeah, fish day.
It's a texture thing.
Fish day.
But fish day at the canteen is just
yeah, because for those that aren't in Denmark or happen to be in Denmark and not in a place that has a canteen, at least all the places we've ever worked in Copenhagen, lunch is in a canteen, served at a specific time, and is typically heavily discounted so that you eat lunch as a team, and you're kind of restricted to what's offered there. And places I've worked, there's always a specific day of week that is fish.
It's Thursday for us.
That would be the day when I would
not eat the
maybe get food somewhere else at the Fliskesteg place down the street.
I'm sorry,
Wednesday was cake day though. That they led you up with cake to let you down the next day on fish day.
Any form of warm salmon, I'm not down for. No.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm not a fan. And I got to tell you, at one place I worked, there was like, a place for drinks, and there was like soda fountains, and then there was like a thing with water and a thing with milk. And anybody that I saw getting milk for lunch on fish day, I'm like, we can't be friends. No. We cannot be friends. Okay, number 2, the fact that, this is kind of yours, but I'll say it because we're going on this little bouncing back and forth thing. Small stores, meaning like, we're used to going to one place and being able to get everything. And sometimes you're buying things that aren't necessarily need to be perfect and just kind of like toilet paper and stuff. It's like you're not super... It's one thing to go to a specialty store for like a camera or something big. That's a big decision. But there's all those random little things you buy. And a lot of times here you might have to go to several stores because there isn't like, you know, Targets and stuff around. Yeah. And that takes a lot to get used to. And it could be like a half-day commitment to get all the things that you need to do, bouncing from place to place in order to get it all.
Yeah, and I see it more, like, it's more irritating with, like, things that are only sold in the Apothec and things that are, like, what's available in, like, Normal or the grocery store and stuff. And it's, like, kind of annoying that I'm like, oh, maybe I can get this at Normal. No, I have to go to the Apothec to go, and the Apothec is like a pharmacy, so that's a little bit annoying. And I mean, I get that I'm absolutely all for supporting small businesses. I think we should. So you know, I accept it because it's just, you know, fine, but it's just different, and it's not necessarily something I like.
And I feel like toilet paper, as an example, is probably not small businesses based on toilet. But if you know of a small business toilet paper store, you tell me, because as you heard earlier, we're throwing away toilets over here, so we could use some toilet paper. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's certain things that it's not about that. It's more about just like picking up stuff you need.
Yeah, it's just you need to be done quickly, in and out quickly, and like I don't want to go to 4 stores, so... Yeah.
So number one, we can kind of jointly do it in a way, but you can begin number one while I take another sip of mine.
We talked about this in our fears video, and it's really just the immigration challenges. And honestly, everybody that we have worked with at Siri has been lovely. They're very nice to work with. They're more than willing to answer questions. But just the fact that it is so complex and it's really confusing sometimes, you know, sometimes like you'll see something and you'll misread it and not completely understand. You just like have a heart attack, and like it's just puts fear into you.
And there's this like this like we've gotten letters like when I switched jobs.
Oh my God!
Once,
those are the worst.
I switched jobs once, and so I had to get a new visa, and I got this letter in e-box, and it started by saying, your residency card has been revoked.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And then they're like, that's because you got a new one. Like, why don't you, like, it's just like a slightly better way of communicating that message that doesn't scare you to pieces, because you're like, what, am I allowed to be here? Yeah. And they're like, oh, wait, no.
Yeah. Or there's like the child tax credit that everybody gets, but we specifically as immigrants are not allowed to take any kind of public money. And if you aren't aware of that child tax credit, like, and you see that come in from the government, I've seen so many people who are like, oh my God, what is this money? Am I supposed to be getting this? Do I need to give it back? You know, like it just puts fear in everybody because we're not supposed to get public money, but we can get that.
I mean, we are lucky compared to a lot of people, for sure.
Yes.
So, but it is, I mean, it's just I think the biggest challenge is it's like the stock market performance. Yeah. It's very volatile in terms of the rule changes. And, you know, Maya so many times has been like, I want to talk to an immigration lawyer to learn some, and I'm like, well, we could do that, but by the time you're eligible for something different, the rules will change 4 times. So learning everything about the ins and outs of how it is today may not be helpful in 3 years or 4 years when you need to look at something. So it'd be nice if it was more consistent and obviously wasn't so challenging. But that's, you know, part of our decision to be here is something to deal with
our own fault.
But that is something that we're not a big fan of. Because it'd be nice. Obviously, we're almost here. 5 years will be in a few months.
Yeah.
And
but again, people, Siri, are lovely. Thank you for the work that you do.
None of the individuals we've talked to.
Thank you so much for the work you do.
It's just the general policy is challenging to work with. There you go. So that's it. That's 5 things we love plus beer.
and 5
things that we hate in Denmark. And we thought it would be interesting. We hope you enjoy. And I mean, normally I would say watch this video. Maybe, well, you've probably seen the Fears video. It wasn't that long ago.
No, the Fears video.
But maybe if you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch it over here somewhere.
What we're scared of.
And there you go. We'll say goodbye for now. Bye.